Good evening, everybody. I hope everybody is doing well. Man, I almost screwed up. So I was looking at it. It was right at that time. I'm like, okay, it's time to go live. And I looked up, and my camera, when I don't have my camera on, I set it back. There's a jar of pickles behind me, and I have it sitting on the jar of pickles. So I looked up to get ready to hit the thing, and I looked up and go, wait a minute, it's not plugged in. And then I looked at the side, and I didn't have the microphone or the camera plugged in. So I mean, almost a disaster. But so that's why I'm actually a minute late starting normal than I normally am. Oh my God, that's too funny. That is too funny. Yeah, that would not have been good. It would not have been a good start to the evening. So anyway, hello everybody. Welcome, welcome. Glad you're joining us for the chat. Before we get started, I just want to remind everybody that we are a very family friendly oriented channel. I would ask you all to please be decent in the chat and, no racism, no nastiness. If you can't abide by those simple, easy rules, those awesome people lit up in blue with the blue wrenches will be. I just got a message. I'm sorry. Those awesome people will boot you out of here because we are not going to have it. Okay. All right. So, a couple things. JJ is having his surgery Tuesday morning. So, anybody that hasn't seen that yet, JJ is having his brain surgery on Tuesday morning. So, I will definitely keep him in my thoughts for that. That's going to not be a fun day. And JJ, you got to give me a text as soon as you're with it and cognitive again. Shoot me a text, let me know that it all went well and everything. All right. And I do appreciate that. All right. Speaking of cognitive ability, what are we going to be talking about today? We're going to be talking about our beloved, revered president, Joe Biden. I want to tell you something, and this is just my thought, okay? And I saw somebody else kind of put this out there too, and I think this is funny. So we're going to talk about this real quick, and then we're going to get into will he make it through his term and what we think with that. When people were so basically this last election, I heard a lot of people said this. They said anybody but Trump, right? Anybody but Trump because he had hateful tweets and he was mean and he spoke to people in a certain way. And as you guys know, and I've put it out here 100 million times, so it's not anything that somebody doesn't know. I don't vote. Never have, never will. I think the whole system is corrupt, and that's why I don't even bother. Okay, that's my own personal take. Okay, being said that, um, what the person said was they were like, I don't necessarily like Trump, but I didn't vote for Trump because I liked him. They said I voted for Trump because I'm voting for the Second Amendment. I'm voting for a free America. I'm voting for America that's going to be oil independent and not, you know, beholden to other countries around the world. Somebody that's putting America first. You know, and there was like a laundry list of things of why they voted for Trump, and it was not because they loved Trump. It was because the alternative is what we have now. Okay, and so yeah, and because and the thing is, he didn't need the money. He gave away his paycheck. That's something. He's the only president that I know of in the history of it that gave away his paycheck. So I commend him for that as well, because he didn't have to do that, but he did. For his entire presidency, he gave that money away because he said he didn't need the money, and that's not why he got the job or wanted the job. He did it because he wanted to actually help this country, and I think he was, and that's strictly my opinion. Um, you know, and because he hurt people's feelings, my reply to that is too bad. Okay, so FDR gave his back. Okay, okay, Forge, thank you. I had no idea if anybody else had or not. I had never heard of it, so thank you for sharing that. I do appreciate that. But anyway, yeah, to the national parks and the veterans. Yep, 80K man, exactly. All right, so we got Joe Biden as president now. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to see. that this gentleman is in severe decline, severe decline, from having to redirect him to not knowing where he's going, coming off of a stage. I mean, how many? I mean, you got to have seen the videos. If you're a Democrat or Republican, you've had to see the videos, and you have to realize that this man is not playing with a full deck of cards anymore. And I don't think he was playing with a full deck of cards when he was elected president. That's just my opinion. They basically hid him away, and he didn't do a lot of campaigning leading up to the election. And so, but anyhow, uh, you know, in the way the media is not, they're starting to now a little bit, because they have to. Yeah, you have to address the elephant in the room. You have to, yeah, tripping over invisible objects, falling upstairs, falling downstairs. Uh, it's very difficult to watch. Not a big Biden fan, being 100% honest. But the thing is, when you see these things, you don't have to be a medical professional to realize that something is not right. When he's tripping over words, when he's trying to speak and he's making no sense. What do we got? We got God Save the Queen, right? And the Queen is dead. He's AI. I mean, it's just, it goes on and on and on. I mean, there's a laundry. Yes, and he did fall asleep. Somebody had said to me um, that when he was talking to the president of Israel, and they showed it, that he had his eyes closed and he wasn't making eye contact and he was mumbling along, and it was shown, I guess, that he actually did fall asleep. Well, you know what? For an 80-year-old man, that's not surprising. With a history of strokes, it's not surprising. So yeah, mumble jumble. I mean, just saying stuff and it doesn't make any sense, and yet they continue to parade him out there. Um, yeah, looking around for a senator who was killed in a car accident. Yeah, I mean, it's just the list is very, very long, very, very long, and it's getting worse. Okay, it is getting worse, and it's tough to see, especially when this is supposedly our leader of the free world. Okay, this is the guy that's like supposed to be the guy. Yeah, shaking hands with ghosts, waving to people that aren't there. Remember that one, Larry, where he came off the plane, there was nobody there, and he's over there waving. It's sad. It's actually very, very sad to see. Um, you know, Obviously, he is a I don't think he's. I got to be careful how I say things. Because I would just like to say I don't think he's doing this or I don't think he's doing that. But it's just I don't want to be accused of spreading false information. I'll put it like this: if he's the one calling the shots, I would be surprised. How that I can say, right? That I can say, because I don't want to be accused of spreading false information. Um, you know, he created his own language dictionary. Yeah, that's kind of, and the whole thing with, you know, sniffing up on that little girl, you know, it's just, I just, in history of that, excuse me, there's a history of that. Hold on one second. Okay, better. Do I believe that he will finish his term? I would be very, very surprised. Yeah, nibbling. He was nibbling on the little girl. Yep. I would be very, very surprised if he makes it through the rest of the term without something happening. I really do. He just the decline has gotten worse and worse and worse. We're seeing it before our eyes. It's really, really difficult to watch. It really is. And the scary thing, folks, to be honest with you, that frightens me more than anything else, if something does happen to Biden before the election, and the chance that he would be reelected would shock me if that ever happened, because he has destroyed so many things. Things are not better. The economy is not better. Interest rates are higher. Gas prices are higher from when he took office. all those things, you know, I think people are realizing that there's a real issue here. Now, I guess the latest thing they're going after now is hot water heaters. That's like the latest thing. It's they want the industry to change everything, right? Air conditioners, generators, and they want to do it in a very quick timetable. And these things take time to develop, and those type of things. It's just unrealistic expectations, I guess is the right word. And but something does happen to him. Should he pass away? Should he be medically retired or one of those type of things? We're going to be stuck with Harris as our president, and she frightens me more than he does because uh, she's an idiot. I'm sorry. I mean, I call her the cackling hyena. I mean, she just did something in Florida talking about, and again, okay, talking about slavery in Florida, or some crap like that she was talking about. And from what I understood, and I didn't see what she said, but I've heard the aftermath of it. They said that she fabricated a lot of the information, which, wow, what a surprise, right? She laughs her way through things when she doesn't want to answer. It's just, I couldn't imagine anybody going, oh, yeah, 4 more years of Biden and Harris, you know, because he would be, by the time that was done, he would be, 86 years old. He would be 86 years old if he lived through that, which I have my, you know, doubts. Like I said, I have my doubts. And, so Tony Bennett just passed away, and everybody saw Tony Bennett just passed away, which is sad. I mean, guy was 96 years old. But what they don't talk about, well, they did mention it briefly, okay? 7 years ago, Tony Bennett was diagnosed with Alzheimer's. I'm going to give you guys a little bit of a synopsis of what happens with that. I've worked with a lot of Alzheimer's patients through the years, a tremendous amount of Alzheimer's patients. And I can tell you how Tony Bennett spent his last years. All right. They probably had him on a locked unit because they have to have him in a secure location so that they don't get out, because they don't have the cognitive ability to make decisions. Okay. So he was probably, you know, uh, wandering around this unit, most likely incontinent of urine and feces. So he probably was wearing a diaper. That happens a lot, especially as they get later into the decline. Confusion, not knowing who they are, not knowing who anybody else is, all those things. And it's very, very difficult to watch. It's very, very difficult to watch. So the fact that he, after his diagnosis of Alzheimer's at 89, lasted another 7 years is quite remarkable, to be honest with you, because I've seen a lot of different things, through the years. Saw a picture of Tony in a New York City in a wheelchair. You would not even recognize him. Very wasted away. Oh yeah, yeah. Because it's like they don't, unless they're being fed or if they have a feeding tube. A lot of times they don't even feed themselves. I mean, they're combative, argumentative. Seeing things that aren't there, seeing people that aren't there, talking to people that aren't there. Uh, Thinking that you're trying to do them harm. There is so much with it, and dealing with Alzheimer's is a very, very difficult thing for anybody at any age, to be honest with you, and not fun, not fun. I feel real bad for the family, because when you go to visit your loved one, you would hope that they would recognize who you are, where you are, what's going on, and they just don't. They don't, and they have no idea who you are. And that's tough to see. That's tough to see. So, anyway, what do we have? 322 in the chat. We're at 126 on thumbs up, guys. If you have not shot a thumbs up yet, please do so to show support for the channel, and I thank you very much for doing that. It really makes a big, big difference with the algorithms. Also, it pisses the trolls off that I ask for thumbs up, so let's keep them going up there let's make them unhappy. because they're already unhappy people. So let's just add to their misery. Also, if you are not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell icon to get all notifications as well. And I thank you for that reason as well. I got my dog is shedding like a maniac, and I have been brushing her, and I could make another whole dog with what she's putting out. So, but anyway, I think it's a matter of time before something drastic happens with Biden. I'm honestly, I'm surprised that he's lasted as long as he has. But and I'm going to ask you guys this in the comments. In the last 6 months, have you guys noticed a severe decline in President Biden? Yes or no, in the comments. So in the last 6 months, have you noted a huge decline in President Biden? See, everybody seems to be on the same page here. I have not seen one no. Um, yeah, very sad to see. Very sad to see. Terry's saying he's faking dementia. I don't think he's faking it. I mean, I think the wheels of the bus are coming off with everything that's going on, and it is. I mean, I think the chickens are coming home to roost, as they say. That's an old saying. My grandfather used to use that all the time, and I think that's what's happening. There's a lot of talk and speculation that there may be uh, misproprieties being done since he was vice president and now he's president. And those type of things. I mean, I'm not saying that he has or he hasn't. Uh, you know, Things are very interesting to think that Hunter would be this now all of a sudden, big businessman, and all these other countries, and they're giving him all kinds of money, or they're buying his crappy paintings for ridiculous amounts of money. The wheels fell off the bus a long time ago, Carol said. Yeah, I mean, you look at what he did day one. Day one. First thing he did is he stopped construction of the pipeline. First thing he did. They're making it much harder to get permits to do digging. I believe Jimmy Carter is still alive, Tony. I haven't heard otherwise, but I know that he is. I believe he's in hospice care because I know that he's going at the last part of his life is what they basically said. So I believe he's in hospice care now. Yeah, he got cleared of a lot of his crimes. Yep. Yep. Craziness. Yeah, still alive but in hospice. Yep. Yeah, that's what I thought. I mean, well, Jimmy Carter's 98, guys. Right? I mean, the guy's 98 years old. So, but I worked for Jimmy Carter when he was governor of Georgia. Oh, that's pretty wild. Yep. Yeah. So, like I said, so let me ask you this question: the White House, right, is loaded with cameras. I'm going to change the subject real quick, but the White House is loaded with cameras. So they were able to identify, right, all these people from January 6th. All these people, they were able to identify all these folks because they had them all on camera because there's so many cameras in the White House. So somebody drops a bag of white powder. So first of all, there's no fingerprints on the bag. So they got no fingerprints on the bag. I find that interesting. I think it's an interesting thing. Was the person that was using it had gloves on in the summertime? I'm not saying they did. I'm not saying that they didn't. But they were not able to tell who that came from. I think that's interesting as well. My worry is they will declare martial law before the election. It would really, that's a legit concern, Carolyn. That's a really, really legitimate concern. It would depend on what was going on. It would really depend on what was going on. They know who it was. They're not saying. Well, that could be the case as well, Okie Forge. But anyway, what was I going to say here? Martial law. We're going to talk. Let's talk about that. That is a possibility that could happen. You know, I mean, it. You know, people act. You know, and this is. And I've had people say this. Okay, and so we're going to touch on this a little bit as well. I've had people say, "Oh, there's no way that they could, enact martial law and control the country." You know, there's too many spaces, there's too much open spaces, and all those type of things. And so I kind of broke it down one at a time, and I'm going to break it down again. They absolutely could enact martial law. They absolutely could close down the cities in a heartbeat, restrict travel, block it off. That you would have to have identification coming in or out. That they could absolutely do in every major city in the country. Okay. Now, would there be people that would be able to smuggle things in and out? Yes, absolutely. There's always going to be that because there's always going to be somebody's hand that can be greased or bribed or whatever the case may be. I mean, it happens all the time. Now, how would they in the country? Okay, so they can control the cities. We already know that. Suburbia would be a little bit more difficult, but not that much more difficult. Country would be the difficult part, controlling the people in the country, right? So basically, you shut down all forms of transportation as far as movement. So all the highways, you would have them where you would have to go through checkpoints, and are you allowed to be there? Do you have a job that is important that you need to be on the road, like truck drivers and those type of things, right? So they would absolutely control the flow of traffic on the highways. So you're not driving on the highways. They can cut off power, folks. Okay, you know they can cut off. They can cut off. Gasoline, propane to certain areas, and just say, hey, yeah, cut the power. They don't have gas. They don't have propane, and then just wait it out. That's all they got to do. And after a certain amount of time, some people, I tell you right now, guaranteed, some people never coming in, never coming in, right? Not going to happen no matter what. But there will be people that say they're never coming in, that'll go in. Uh, Health issues, medical emergency, all those type of things. There's a lot of reasons why they would. Not being as prepared as much as they thought they were, not having enough food to be able to do what they need to do. So, and then it's just a matter of, like I said, they don't have to come out and get you. They don't. They can wait you out. So they cut you off and then just wait you out. Funny you mentioned propane. I'm just loading my tanks to go fill tomorrow. There's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that at all. It's keeping your things, keeping your supplies topped off. That's important. Really, really important. Usually, what I do is if I get one empty tank of propane, I'm taking it in to get it filled up. That's what I normally do. Like this time of year, I really don't use a lot of propane. So, that's a nice thing. Like the air conditioning is not run on propane, that's electric. So, that works out good. If I'm running the air, I ran it for like a little bit today. Oh, camera issues. I got to tell you what it was. And somebody made a comment in the last video, and I said, absolutely, that's what it is. Had the air conditioner on in the camper. Okay, so obviously the camera's in the camper. When I went outside, it was slowly fogging up. So when I came back in the camper, before I put the video up, I looked at the lens, and the entire front of the lens had a fog on it. And I thought, did it get like water condensation in there? No, what it is, it went from that extremely cool temperature in the camper to outside with the humidity and the heat. And that's why that happened. And I go, that makes perfect sense. So hopefully, we will have addressed that. And so when I'm going to go make a video tomorrow, I'll make sure I don't turn the air conditioning on first. So, but I thought you were showing us what it's like to be Biden brain fog. Oh my God, that's funny. That is funny. So, uh, so anyway, they can control things. They can not only, okay. So we talked about gas, propane, electricity, and food. We didn't talk about food and cut off your food. Now, granted, a lot of people in the country are going to be growing a lot of their own crops, and they would have to do bartering locally within a certain area. Being able to travel and do that type of stuff. I just checked out my 20-pound tank for 100-pound propane tanks. Oh, there you go. Changed them out. Got the 100-pound tanks. I think that that's a smart thing. I like having a combination of both, Prep Rebel. I like having a combination of both. 100-pound tank I can hook up here for the camper, and that's going to give me a lot longer period of time. But if we're cooking in the pavilion and we're using propane, there's another aspect of having that 20-pound tank is kind of nice as well. So there's a lot of having both is better than having neither. Having something as opposed to nothing is even better. So whatever you're doing, yeah, they cut the water off. Yep. So again, Larry, there's another reason. There's another reason why having your own well is very important, or having your own water source, or having rain catchment systems set up, and other alternative access to water, be it springs, be it creeks, or whatever the case may be. That's really really important. Do you use the stove and oven in the trailer to cook? Yes. Yep, I sure do. Yep. Actually, I had some very nice sunny side up eggs this morning. They were actually quite delicious, by the way. So yeah, I do use the stove. So, but uh, but anyway, so there's a lot that they can do to influence you, to persuade you to come in. So that I mean, and like I said, people are like, wow, if they come out here, they're going to have a big fight, and they know that. They know that. So they're going to do everything that they can possibly do to make you as miserable as you possibly could be, so that you'll give up. I did a video a long time ago, and I said, 90% of people will go to FEMA camps willingly, and here's why. And that's what I talked about. Um, we all have children. A lot of us, not everybody, but a lot of us have children. All right. What would you not do for your child? Being honest, right? I think most of us would do anything that we possibly could for our children. And if you have a child that is 4 years old and there's a medical emergency, and if you take that child in, that they're going to be able, yep, that's my most watched video. Yes, it is. 1.7 million views, something like that. Um, they know that if they take that child in, the child is going to get the medical treatment it needs and is going to survive. People are going to do it, guys, even the ones that don't want to. So I want you to think about that. I want you to really think about that. So, don't ever say, I'll never do this, because you can't ever say, I'm never going to do this or I'm never going to do that, you know, because we don't know what we would be willing, capable, or able to do, number one. Okay. And also, what pressures would be on us to go in if we had to, because of a circumstance with a family member. So, mysterious mystery company bought 8,000 acres around Travis Air Force Base. Wow, I hadn't seen that one, JJ. Code enforcement roams around all the time. I live real close to the town office. Oh, so I can tell you. I'll tell you a story about code enforcement. Oh my God. So I lived in Greece, New York, and which is a suburb outside of Rochester, New York. Very, very populated, and the city was slowly working its way out. I mean, it really was. It just was getting worse and worse. They put low income housing in certain spots, and it like ruined those neighborhoods. It was just bad. It was getting worse and worse. We were there for 8 years, in that house in Greece. And I was real happy to get out of there when we did, because it was you could see the decay of the area. But the problem was with Greece also. It's in Monroe County. Monroe County is one of the highest tax counties in the country, not in New York State, in the country. Okay, what people do in Greece, New York, if your neighbor decides to build a shed, so you got to what you have to realize is, okay, so here's your house, here's your neighbor's house, here's the next neighbor, and it's the same way that way. Across your street, because you're on a street, it's the same way that way, right? Behind you, the in your backyard, wherever your backyard ends, you have another street there with the same thing, houses everywhere. So if you decide, I'm not getting a permit, I'm building this shed, I can guarantee you, one of your neighbors is going to call and either burn you and say this person didn't get a permit, or call to say, hey, did they get a permit, just causing you problems because they don't like you for whatever reason or whatever, just because some people are a-holes, realistically. Okay, that happens all the time, absolutely happens all the time. So I didn't do any outdoor stuff, other than I planted some trees, raspberry bushes and stuff like that. They couldn't do anything about that. Now, as part of the town ordinance, right? I had, because I looked into this. I said, well, if it was pretty windy, right? And I figured, because I had a 2-story house, if I put a wind turbine up on top of my house, that would be a good source of extra power. Not allowed to do it. No wind turbines. Couldn't do a wind turbine, right? You know, solar wise, you could get away with solar, but again, they want you to be grid tied. They're going to encourage you. I'll say it that way. It's got a bird or something right outside. They're going to encourage you to go grid tied. So that's Ed. Do you like Lewisburg, West Virginia? I like West Virginia. Period. Why Lewisburg? I don't know. I like West Virginia. I'm going to tell you what, guys. West Virginia is just a very decent place. Very, very decent. So that's what I will say about West Virginia. So far, my garden is doing very well. Beans are almost there, and corn is booming. Yeah, very cool. Very, very cool. So, but it's got to be like a bird. Like literally, I got the door open with the screen door shut, and I could hear this bird like right out there. So, but the problem is too. So Robert's saying all news is becoming more fake all the time. The problem is this, Robert, and all the rest of you too. The problem with the news is there is very few families controlling all the news media outlets. Okay, it's a very small group of people, and the problem with that is this: you have somebody higher up that's telling you, I'm like, say I'm the newscaster, right? Prepper Nurse One here with the evening news. I get a script. This is what you're going to talk about. This is what you're going to say. I don't know if you guys saw that video that was put out there, and it showed all the news agencies, like in New York, there's channel 8, 10, 13, where the big channels in the Rochester area for news, and channel 31. So you had all the news outlets in different parts of the country, all on script, saying the same exact thing. The same exact thing. That should frighten the crap out of you, because they were showing how well we have integrity and we care, and we're trying to give you the news and blah blah blah. I saw that video, and I was just like, wow, if more people saw that, they would get it, that they're given a script, we are being told what they want us to know, period. So that's why one of the things I always say to you guys is, do your homework. Do your homework, because if something is put out in the news doesn't make it so. Okay, it's not always the truth. um, That has been proven over and over and again. A lot of conspiracy theories, right? People had put out information about different things. Well, it's amazing how many of those so-called conspiracy theories ended up being true down the road, you know. But if you had said them at the time, you were labeled a nut job. You were anti this or anti that, and you're the problem. Whatever happened, and again, I want you guys to really, really think about this. Whatever happened to question everything? Whatever happened to that? When you have, politicians, the news media, you have celebrities, just shut up and do it. Stop asking questions, just do as you're told. Man, I'll tell you what, when people do that to me, I dig my heels in that much harder and go, no, okay? Because that to me, when somebody is pushing, there's a lot of questions. There's a lot of questions. And if those questions aren't being answered, then, I'm not interested, and, it's, there's a lot of things that have gone on that is a major, major problem. And the sad thing is the number of people that complied and did what they were told without question. So many did it without question. Now, some people had to be coerced into it, threatened to lose their job over it, right? We know that. I mean, it's documented right straight through. It's documented. So these things do happen. And, it is, I'm a proud tinfoil hat person. Oh my God, that's awesome. I just see, to me, it's not, and the sad part is that you get labeled that because you go, well, wait a minute. I need more information, right? That doesn't make you anti this or anti that. You just want more information, you know, and that's the problem. But when you don't go along to get along, now then, according to the powers that be, if you will, then you're the problem. So they will do everything that they can to shut you up, make sure that you don't make waves, and all those type of things. And it happens all the time. It happens all the time, and it just amazes me. Like I said, it's not everybody, did something willingly, but a lot of them did. A lot of them did. Oh, this is what we're told to do. Yep, we're going to go do it. You know, and they had all these reasons. You're doing it for this reason. You're doing it for that reason. You're doing it for the other reason. And I don't know. Like I said, I have an issue. I have an issue. 5 years after is coming out August 22nd in Contagion, a continuation of 1 Second After series. Yeah, I actually have seen that was coming out. I'm really looking forward to that because I definitely want that book myself, because I think that that'll be interesting to read. His other books were absolutely amazing. So yeah, and he was, I believe, very, very accurate, in his portrayal of what it would be like, especially in the very beginning, especially later on, in those type of things. So, you know, it great series. If you haven't read it, I would highly recommend that you do so, because it is definitely, yeah. The first book was absolutely on point, very, very accurate, very, very, in my opinion, of how things will be and how people will act, and you know why I live rule. It's more conservative and neighbors get along. Well, and that's the funny thing too. ADK, man, like even in New York, where I was in New York, I got along with my neighbors fine, but I don't bother nobody. I mind my own business. If they need my help, I have no problem helping them. I had Greg live behind me. Greg was awesome. I had, Richard right down the road that had the blue tractor. And if I ever needed him for anything, he was right there. I mean, now don't get me wrong. I took care of those guys too. You know what I mean? So it wasn't like But the thing is, they were willing to do it. And a lot of times, like with Richard, he would say, "No, I don't want anything," and I would say, "Well, gas money." You know what I did not do, guys? I don't even know where my freaking phone is. Where did I put my phone? I didn't even got the egg count yet. So hold on. I got to text my sister. Oh my God, I didn't have my phone right next to me. I feel so naked. It was, I had it back in there. All right, let me just shoot her a text. And hopefully she gets back to me before it's time for the egg count. So, anyway. I did. It's weird. Like I said, I earlier, or was it earlier today? Oh, I don't know. I when I was actually the other day when I was out cutting grass. Okay, she gave it to me already, so that's cool. All right. So anyhow, moving on. Uh, I know my other crackers are gone too. Mac brought me that he's got this amazing cheese. It's like a horseradish cheese that you spread on the crackers, and those other crackers that were here that are now gone. I finished off the crackers. I actually still have more of the horseradish cheese left, but and Hella loves it too. So how funny is that? So I'll make a cracker for me. I'll eat the cracker. She'll sit here, and I'll make a cracker for her, and I give her one as well. So too funny. But anyhow, we got a couple more minutes before the egg count time, so we're good that way. We're at 385 in the chat. We're at 216 on a thumbs up, guys. So I'm going to ask you again if you have not shot a thumbs up yet. Thank you very much for doing that. I really appreciate it. It makes a huge difference with the algorithms. So the more interaction that we can have, the better it is for the channel. So it pushes us up higher in the rankings. That's how they do that. And if you hate me, shoot me that thumbs down. That's awesome too. Because guess what? It all counts as activity. So. Um, But also, if you are not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell icon to get all notifications as well. And I thank you for that as well. All right. Also, like, comment, and share. That's also cool. So, but what's your opinion on survey flights? Well, I don't know what you mean. What do you got to give me some more details than that? Enjoyed the video on the blueberries. Maybe plant some Concord grapes. I did plant some grape plants this year. They did not take for whatever for whatever reason they did not take. Um, some years are better than others, but this year they just even the blueberry or raspberries, the red raspberries that I bought, they did not do well this year either. So I don't know, what the issue was. The survey flights have been going on for multiple months. They're mapping population, railroad, rivers, possibly for military purposes. Um, they probably, Danny, they probably already have all that information, already. There's some places got all that down. So that may be what they're saying that the purpose would be. Maybe they're seeing where people are at. What they're up to, what they're doing. That could be. That could be as well. Yeah, the blackberry. I have the blackberry bushes are all over down here. The red raspberries weren't, and so that's what I had planted last year, and I got red raspberries this year from them. and they actually spread this year, which was also very cool. So yeah, Google Earth has all that. Yeah, 80K man says. Yeah, I mean they can pinpoint down to your car in your driveway, with Google Earth. So all that information is out there. And trust me, with all the spy satellites and all the spy equipment that is out there as well, they have all that information. So I don't know what they would be actually looking for if they were doing those survey type of maps. But that's definitely something that is out there. All right, let us go ahead and do the egg count. So, how many eggs today? And yes or no for Miss Thickneck. So, I'll give you guys a moment to get your guesses up, and we will go from there. So, just give you guys a moment. I just give you guys 1 minute more, and then we'll give you the answer. There's the tell, but here's what I did today, Nostradamus. Here's what I did today. I saw the right answer early on, and I didn't take a drink then. I waited. So I screwed you guys up. That was the tell, but now I know it's my tell because a couple other people had pointed it out. So I saw the right answer uh, early on, and so I had to change that up. So I just waited. So there you go. See, I can play that game too. All right, hold on a second here. All right. So if you had the same exact guess as the new first time winner, Sean Dunn, Sean Dunn with 6 eggs and no for Miss Thickneck today, then you are absolutely correct. And so congratulations to Sean Dunn. You've won absolutely nothing. But yeah, I mean, he was like in the first 10 people. And I just waited then. I didn't take my drink right away because like I said, yeah, it is a tell that, I've been waiting for you to screw with us on that. Yeah, well, you got to. You can't keep it. See, here's the other problem. Okay, so let's talk about this. Let's talk. So anyway, congratulations, Sean Dunn, for winning the egg count tonight. Again, it was 6 and no for Miss Thickneck. We as human beings are creatures of habit. We really, really are. So we like routine. Routine makes us feel comfortable, makes us feel safe, right? You can also be, if you are under observation, anybody that's watching you will pick up on those routines. So in a post event, let's just say, you would need to you would need to change up that routine. You can't keep doing the same thing because if somebody's watching, they'll pick up the patterns. They'll know what your weak spots are. They'll know when to hit. They'll know when to do different things. So you have to make sure you're changing things up. In life, if you don't want somebody to know what you're doing and know what your routine is and stuff like that, yes, habits and routines can kill you. Exactly. Like I'll give you a good example. Let's just say that every morning, you go to McDonald's and you get a sausage egg McMuffin and you get a coffee on your way to work, and you do it every day because you like to. It's what you like. You like to have it. You like to eat it. You might change your meal up here and there, try something a little bit different, but that pattern is that you leave your house and you go to McDonald's, right? Or to the coffee shop or wherever you're going to go. If somebody's watching and observing you, they know what your routine is. They know when you are not home. They know when, if they're looking to rob your home. They know when you're not there. They know when everybody's not there because they've been watching. They're paying attention. So those are things that, absolutely do happen. If somebody's looking to cause you harm and you have a routine of you do the same thing, uh, Tuesday, Wednesday night, you go to the gym and you work out from 5 to 7 at the gym. It just, we are creatures of habit. We have patterns that we like to do. Every Sunday you go to church, right? Or you go, Saturday you go fishing without fail every Saturday. I mean, there's so many things that we just kind of take for granted that we don't think about, that we just do. And so, if you are paying attention, it's easy to pick up routines of people. And that, that's the thing, with that, especially if you have the same work schedule and you've been doing the same work schedule for, you work that 9 to 5 grind, so you get out of work at 5 o'clock, a couple days a week, you go to the gym afterwards or whatever, you know what I mean? Or if you go to your local, hang out and have a couple of cocktails or whatever you like to do, you know yeah, don't post your jogging routine online. Yeah, don't tell people, you know what you're doing when you're doing it on, because those, again, on social media, what always kills me about social media is, look, here's my meal that I'm going to have for dinner. What do I give a crap what you had for dinner? Congratulations, you went to XYZ place and you had a meal. Good for you. You know what I mean? It's just, I don't get that. I really don't get that. But these things, like I said, these things, um, are giveaways to your routine, your patterns of what you're doing. And so, try not to do the same things at the same times. I don't like, when it comes to cutting the grass, it is as simple as this, okay? I don't cut the grass the exact same way every time I cut the grass, because it makes me crazy. So I got to change it up. So I'll cut a different pattern one time, and then the next time I'll cut it a different way, or I'll do like this section over here first, and then the next time I cut the grass, I cut that section over there first. It's just, I have to mix it up for me, because if it's too mundane and it's the same, it's the same, it's the same, it drives me out of my mind. So, but the thing is, there will be people, if people want to do you harm or do something bad, they can pick up your patterns. Yeah, post vacation pictures when you get back from vacation, not when you're on vacation. Exactly. You know, uh, so people are giving too much information out there, way too much information out there. But if you cut the seam, you'll have ruts from the tires. Well, yeah, there's that too. But anyway, again, going back, let's go back here a little bit and get back on the original topic, because we've been all over the place since then. But we did go through it. If Harris becomes a president, if Biden should suddenly die or have a medical situation where he is medically or mentally retired, which would not shock me in any way, shape, or form, uh, and she becomes a president, we're doomed. That's my, that is my take on that. We're doomed, because she is. I don't know. I don't even know how to explain her. They've proven. I mean, she was keeping, and think about this. I want you to really think about this. This is an individual who's our vice president of the United States of America. Okay, that kept people locked up longer than they should have been in California. Convicted people, for minor, marijuana things, knowing that, had the information that could have exonerated somebody, and didn't present that information. What does that tell you about what kind of person she is? See, character to me is really, really important on somebody that I want to, have, that I associate myself with. Character is very, very important. And if you got somebody that is a liar, they're sneaky, they're, doing the bare minimum, those type of things, you pay attention to that, and that's a problem. You know, uh, I'll tell you, like I've said, like with my group down here, that's the one thing I cannot stand, guys. I cannot stand is a liar. because if you're lying, and let's say you're lying over something that's not a big deal, right? You're lying about something that's not a big deal. If you would lie about something that's not a big deal, what else are you lying about? And that trust goes out the window. And if you don't trust the people that you're around, that's a problem. That's a problem. So, when you realize, you know, people are lying or being deceitful with you, you need to do something about it, because can you trust them, in the long run of things? So it's, that's just my take on it. Like I said, to me, character is everything. And again, no, I never got my plaque. I think somebody had said that if you've had a strike within a certain period of time, they won't give you your plaque. And how many strikes have I had? I mean, my gosh, I'll bet I've had 6 over the last several years, at least, at least 6. So, but it's when they give you that strike, it stays on there for 3 months. And I had last year had gotten a strike, and as soon as that strike came off, I got another strike for an old, and these were for videos that were like so old it was ridiculous. Videos that nobody was watching anymore. And then as soon as that 3-month period was done, I got the next strike. So like the one would just come off, and then they would give me the strike, and then I would be back to having that one strike, and I'm like, you know, yeah, I'm a YouTube parolee, yeah, many times over. But when they're looking for an excuse to do that, it's like I said, it's a lot of it's games. It's a lot of it is games. So, but what are you gonna do? Yeah, that happened to Jason, Angry Prepper too. Old videos gave him strikes. Yeah, and to me, it's like if I got a video that I did a year and a half ago, nobody's watching that video. Not really, not anymore. If it's one of my more popular videos, they maybe might go back and say, "Well, God, this a lot of people watch this video. I'm going to watch this video because, um, yeah, shadow ban is their weapon of choice. Yeah, there's a lot of that going around. A lot of that going around. So, but yeah, it's just like I said, it's just part of what you got to deal with. And I love when people say, "Oh, well, you're giving in and you're sucking up and blah blah blah." Well, here's the thing. If I get on here and I'm screw you, I'm going to say what I want to say. I ain't going to be on here very long. So there's ways that you can say what you want to say, dancing around the edges, right? So that's what I do now. I dance around the edges. I don't directly talk about something or whatever and put a title on it. You dance around the edges, and if I mention something, you guys, pretty smart people, right? Because first of all, because you're watching me, so you have to be brilliant. But no, you know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying. You know what I mean? So that's how you do it. You earned it. Make your own plaque. Yeah, right. Like I said, once you get the game down and you know how the game is played. And again, I'm going to say this, and I know I've said this before, but I'm going to say this again. Life in general is a big game. It's a game. And as soon as you realize it's a game, it makes makes everything so much easier because then you go, all right, I realize this is a game. Work, right? What happens with work? You go to work, there's rules, there's things you gotta act this way, you can't do this, you can't say that, heaven forbid you have an off-color joke or whatever, you can get in big trouble now, right? It wasn't like that back in the day, but now everything being so politically correct, and we don't want to offend anybody and all that type of stuff. You have to be really, really careful. And but there's rules and it's a game. So once you realize it's a game, here's the beautiful thing with nursing, and this is what I've always liked about nursing. There's always another job, nursing wise. There's always another job. So if I'm sick and tired of the games that are being played in this facility, I'll say, screw it. I don't care. I'll go on to someplace else. Don't make no difference to me. And that's how I've always been. Pretty much with any job, I you know, I do my job. I go to work every day when I'm working. I do what I'm supposed to do, but I'm not kissing your behind because you're the boss. That's not happening. That's not part of what I'm going to do. I'm not going to humiliate myself and let you treat me like I'm a piece of garbage or let you talk down to me. That's not going to happen. I'm a human being. I'm an adult. I'm not your child. You want to talk to your child that way? That's fine. But some of these people give them a little bit of power, and they get on a power trip, and next thing you know, they think they're I'm in control and I got all the power. I've seen it over and over and over again, and I look at these people and I go, man, what the heck? I've been in charge. I've been a charge nurse many times, and I've always told my CNAs. I'll tell you what I told my CNAs. I would say, listen, here's the deal. I'm not going to follow behind you to make sure you did your job. You know what your job is. Do your job. If I get reports later on that there's issues or you haven't done rounds or whatever the case may be, then I'm going to come down on you. But as long as you're doing your job, I'm not your babysitter. Yeah, I'm your supervisor and I'm the one that's in charge on the unit. But just do your job. You know what your job is, and so that's the way I always did it. Now, if I said to you, hey, I need you to take care of this or I need you to take care of that, then obviously I expect you to do that. But I never treated people badly. Never treated people badly. Because to me, why? Why would you do it? You know what I mean? It just doesn't make any sense. And in nursing, guys, and my nurses and my CNAs that follow the channel can tell you that this is the God's honest truth. A lot of these places, they love to play the write-up game. I'm going to write you up for this. I'm going to write you up for that. And you're like, oh my God, I'm going to get in trouble. It don't mean squat. It don't mean squat. To me, it never did. I don't care. If I see, my thing is this: if I do something wrong, come and tell me. Talk to me like a man or a woman, and say, "Hey, listen, you screwed this up. Just want to give you a heads up. Please don't do it again." I'll be watching, and that's fine. I never had an issue with that. But don't play the I got to write you up because you didn't do this or you didn't do that. I don't play that game. I never wrote people up, and that's what the higher management didn't like either. I didn't do write-ups. So I had, like the one job when I was working for the county and up in New York, and this place was crazy with write-ups. I mean, crazy with write-ups. You know, they, I was there like 6 months, and like just before I got to my 6 months, and you're off probation and you're protected by the union, even though you're paying union dues from day one, right? Which is also interesting. But management get rid of you right up to that last minute. 2 days before I hit my 6 months, they let me go because I wouldn't play their game. I had somebody ask me, how many write-ups have you given? I said, in 6 months, 0. I said, I don't do write-ups. I'll take a person aside, and if they were screwing up, we'll do shout outs here in just a second. I'll give you an example. I had a girl that went in, did a bed change, and so she raised the bed up so she could do it so she's not having to bend over. Well, when she left, she didn't put the patient's bed back down. That's a safety issue. It's a big time safety issue. So, I walk into the room and the bed's way higher where if she rolled out of bed, the patient, she could have gotten severely hurt. So I took the CNA aside and I said, listen, I'm not writing you up, but you got to be aware of this. You got to pay attention. That's, you give them a chance. That's how you do it in my book. That's the way I always did it. So, but anyway, all right, well, let's do shout outs. We start out with Icky Can up in Canada. Real good guy. I would ask you to support him. He's been starting to do a lot of harvesting up there as well. Prep Nurse 1, what about medical errors? Lots of medical errors. We talked about that the other day, Mars Gold. Look at how many people die or injured because of, people making mistakes in the medical field. Happens all the time. All the time. So then we got Angry Prepper, which is Jason down in New York City. Another good guy. Definitely support him as well. Jason's been traveling all over the place, guys. He's been all over the place. We have Alaska Prepper, and that is Rudy up in Alaska. There's also Alaska Granny. You have Sean James with the Sean James channel and My Self Reliance, two different channels, same guy. Great content building up in Canada, showing you how to, amazing builder, an amazing builder. There is Demcad. You have Corporal's Corner. There's Bjorn Hansen. There's ADK Man up in the Adirondacks. You have Bizariza Jizza, who does the Carrington Chronicles. It's a series that he does online. Good information there as well. There's Marfugal News. That's Adam and Dax out on the West Coast. Adam's a good guy, very squared away. Like his channel a lot. There is Magic Prepper up in North Dakota. Wranglestar, that is Cody, another really good guy. A lot of great information on his channel. There is Red Poppy Ranch. There is Survival Lily over in Europe. You have Kyle's Cabin. Kyle and Sierra living up in Minnesota doing their thing up there. Really, really good people. Mars Gold says, thanks, Ed. Med errors. Yeah, the management doesn't want to know about med errors. Yeah, they don't. I'll talk a little bit more about that in a second. Let's see, where was I here? We have Bush Radical and Girl in the Woods, husband-wife team, really good people. Two different channels. They split their time between Michigan and Alaska. There is Green Greg's, really good info on his channel as well. Southern Prepper 1. He's got his Boots on the Ground series, sharing information, talking about prepping, all those type of things. There is Gray Man Prepping. You have St. Bernard Acres with Joe. There is Doug and Stacy. They've been around a long time. They got a great channel, a lot of good information on their channel. You have the Nomadic Movement down in Panama, nice young couple down there. They actually just got a flush toilet after 7 years. So I can relate. I understand that. The Green Dream Project out in Arizona, doing their thing out there, living in the desert, showing you how it's done. You have Camping with Steve Wallace, who does stealth camping. There is Bush Doctor Survival. There is Monkey Works. You have the Needy Homesteader. She's been around a long time, a really good channel, a lot of good information with her channel. Boss of the Swamp, another really good builder, crazy good builder. Watching him do what he does is very, very cool. There is Diamond with the Oppenheimer Ranch Project. Great information, very, very smart guy. Anything you want to know about the Grand Solar Minimum, definitely check him out. There is Patera with the Appalachian Homestead. Somebody who says it like it is, and I respect that. I like that. City Prepper, Lumina Acres. You have Suspicious Observer. There is Bear Independent. You have the Uneducated Economist. There is Bushcraft Bear in the Canary Islands of La Palma. There is Mary Greeley News. Mary Greeley is giving you all the latest information, what's going on with Yellowstone, the earthquakes, everything like that. A lot of good information with her channel. Adapt 2030. There is Malachi's Corner. You have Ice Age Farmer. If you're going to get your weather, there's only one guy you should be getting your weather from, and that is Ryan Hall Y'all. Ryan Hall is very passionate about the weather, but he's really awesome about giving back to the community as well when there's a disaster, which is amazing. You have Russell Brand. I like Russell Brand. He gives you the information, and then he lets you decide what you want to do with it. And I think that is a good thing. So definitely check him out as well. You have Deep South Homestead. Very, very family-friendly oriented channel, so definitely check them out as well. You have The Outsider. There's The Fit Farmer. We have Prep Rebel. Simple Life Reclaimed. There is Townsend showing you what it's like to live back in the 1800s. There is The Prepared Mind. We have Pinball Preparedness, another really good channel. He's down in Tennessee. East Tennessee Preparedness. The Economic Ninja. And last but not least, Little House Off Gritty. A lot of good channels out there, guys. A lot of good information. I think we should be looking at different things. People look at things different. What do we have? 268. Let's see if we can hit 300. Yeah, let's shoot for. We got 10 minutes to go. I think we could hit 300 thumbs up. We still got 293 people in the chat. So let's see if we can hit that goal. 31 away. We're at 269. So Now we're 30 away. So let's see if we can get those thumbs up, get up to 30 or 30 more and get to 300. So that's the goal. All right. Again, it really does make a big, big difference with the algorithms as well. So I thank you for that reason. Also, again, if you are not subscribed to the channel, I would ask you to please subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell icon to get all notifications as well. So now we're at 275. We need 25 more, guys. 25 more thumbs up to hit 300. We'll see if we can hit 300. So how's the beard coming? What do you think? I know some of you don't like the long beard. Some do. So I get in moods, and I know it's summertime, but it's gonna grow. It's gonna get pretty long is my thing. So Ed, your beard is cooler than the other side of the pillow. Well, thank you very much. Yeah, I gotta go different things every once in a while. I went for a long time with it really short, just a goatee and it really short. So, some like it, some don't. That's okay, you know. And get ready for Santa Claus. Yeah, the Santa Claus gig. I'd have to let everything grow out then, get the whole big bushy thing going. I don't like it. Well, see, like when the sides like this, I like it tighter on the sides and let this grow because, like, when this grows too much, it's like that. And that I'm considering moving from Connecticut to West Virginia. Any area to stay away from, the best areas for like-minded folks. Teresa, what you would have to do is you would have to come down here, and it would be depending on what you were looking for, how much land you wanted. Uh, you know, there's only 1.7 million people in the entire state of West Virginia. So there's a lot of areas that you could go to where you're going to be isolated if that's what you're looking for, and those type of things. But it is just there's areas to stay away from. I would always encourage everybody to stay away from high densely populated areas. If you're looking at a specific county that you want to be in, find out what the rules are for that county. Find that out because if they have a lot of restrictions, you don't want to be in that county. You want to be in a county where you've got more freedom to do what you want to do. That would be my advice. Okay. All right. So we're at 288. We need 12 more thumbs up, guys. 12 more to hit 300. Uh, we are Legion because we are many. We are all over the country. We're all over the world. Where is everybody from tonight? We have Franklin County, Ohio in the house. We have Mars Gold in West Virginia, Mountain Mama. Franklin County, Ohio, I already did that one. Virginia with Prepper. Waterloo, New York with Sharon. Dayton, Ohio with Rhonda. Nowhere, Oklahoma with Okie Forge. Inverness, Florida with Clyde in the house. We have Troy, North Carolina. Omaha, Nebraska. Fayetteville, North Carolina. BC, Canada with Janet. UP of Michigan with Dawn. Teresa up in Connecticut. San Diego, California with Suze. Melbourne, Australia in the house with Philip. Good evening, Philip. Westchester, New York. Bath, England in the UK. Brian, thank you for staying up late with us. I appreciate it. Troutman, North Carolina with Troy. Fort Worth, Texas with Sonia. Littleton, New Hampshire. Prescott, Arizona. We have Minneapolis with Jason. Rochester, Minnesota with Mike. South Dakota with Marty. Dwindle, Virginia with Mr. Black Cat. North Central Texas with Dust Devil. Kearney, Nebraska with DJ. West Central Ohio with Dale. Northern Virginia with Robert. Palatka, Idaho with Janita. Central New York with Village Homestead. New Hampshire with Brenda. Northern Wisconsin with Crafty. So, again, guys, we're all over the country. We're all over the world. We're a huge, huge network of people. We really, truly can make a big, big difference. We got Chad from Canton, Ohio. We can and make a difference now and make a difference later. What are we? 6 away now, guys. 6 more thumbs up to hit 300. I know you guys can do that. You can do that easy. Nope, now drop down. Somebody went away. I don't know. That was weird. We're 293 now. Are you feeling better? Somewhat. Like I said, I today I ended up finishing up doing my push mowing. Moved a few things around. I'll be honest, I definitely felt it in my foot. I absolutely did today. So I mean that happens. What are you going to do? But I can't stop not doing stuff. It's that part was making me crazy. So I wanted to. So as long as I get a little something done, it makes me feel better. And so that's what I'm trying to do. We're at 296, guys, 4 away. 296. I got the Epsom salt, and I soaked my foot once already. I was going to do it last night and never got around to it, but I definitely am going to be doing it again tonight. There we are, 300. Look at that, 300 thumbs up. Awesome. So, yeah, I definitely, I'm just going to. I believe it is, a ligament or something like that, and it's just going to take time. So, yeah, now we're at 305. Awesome. You guys blew it through the water. I knew you could. I know you guys are awesome. So, anyway, guys, I want to thank my moderators who do an absolutely fantastic job keeping the chat clean. Makes a big difference with all that. And so, yeah, we heal slower with as we age. Thanks, Don. Thanks. Um, Speaking of healing, really quickly, Steve is doing much better. He's definitely, again, talking about healing. He's healing slowly, but he's getting there. So, but like I said, again, I want to thank my moderators who do a fantastic job. I appreciate you, ladies and gentlemen. I appreciate all you guys being here too. It's a lot of fun. I really enjoy it. And these chats, they go by quick, and no, we don't always stay on topic, but you guys have questions, and I want to try to answer your questions if I can, and I think that that's important. So I try to do that. We got Freedom for Us in Nebraska. So a lot of fun though. I do enjoy it. And again, let's keep JJ in our thoughts, guys, because Tuesday morning he goes in for brain surgery. So hopefully that all goes well and with no complications. And so let's keep him in our thoughts. So anyway, um, we are truly all in this together. We are one race called the human race. As soon as we can figure that one out, we truly will be in much better shape. We have to stop letting them divide us, folks. They use race, they use religion, they use political affiliation. They want to keep us fighting amongst each other, which is just stupid. And so many people fall for it. It is unbelievable. If we could come together as human beings, we could accomplish anything, anything. So that's important. That's important. Also, remember to hug and kiss the ones that you love. Tell them every single day. Tomorrow is not guaranteed. We never know what's going to happen in life. So it's really important that we tell the people that we care about every day how we feel. Last but not least, favorite acronym, STD. And people hear that. I know there's a couple people that were newer to the channel and heard that for the first time. We're like, what? STD, best acronym in the world, stands for step, thing, and day. One step at a time, one thing at a time, and one day at a time. If you are doing something 10 minutes a day, something in a positive way, you're making forward progress. Now, if you can do 5 hours or 8 hours or 10 hours, great. But as long as you do something, if you're making that forward progress, that's a good thing. And that's what we need to be doing. Okay. Don't listen to negative people telling you what you cannot do. They're miserable. They want you to be miserable. If you set realistic goals and then you set about making them happen, you can accomplish anything that you set your mind to. Remember that, because that is important, really important. Um, and so just work at it, and you're going to be just fine. I'm the perfect example of that. With everything that we did up in New York and everything that we've done down here, it just things come together, and it takes time. It's never going to go as fast as you want it to. Never going to be as fast as you want. But if you work methodically at it, Before you know it, you're going to look back and you'll be like, holy crap, we got that done. We got this done. This is coming together. It's unbelievable. So, anyway, guys, be safe, keep prepping, stay positive, do what you can do, control what you can control, and don't be victims. Don't be victims. That's the worst thing you could possibly. Have a great night. I will talk to you all later. Prepper Nurse One out for now.